Alright, what's up you guys? I'm here with the Elimination Chamber 2019 pay-per-view review. And it's only 10:20 right now. So we had a shorter pay-per-view, thankfully. And, you know, it's nice to have that. This pay-per-view was well-paced. I feel like we could have had an Asuka SmackDown Championship match, quite honestly. Or even like an R-Truth US title match. Because there was a point in between matches where there was like 22 minutes. So you easily could have thrown something in there. Even if it's just setting something up for, you know, WrestleMania for Asuka. Because as of right now, she doesn't really have an opponent. So, first off on the pre-show, we had Tozawa and Buddy Murphy for the Cruiserweight title. You know, it started off, you know, pretty good, fast-paced. We had quick little back and forth, and then it spilled out to the outside. We had Buddy Murphy chopping the ring post, and then we had Tozawa trying a suicide dive, only to be caught by Buddy Murphy. And, you know, this match ran 13 minutes and 25 seconds. So, you know, the finish, we had, you know, the high knee by Murphy. Tozawa puts Murphy in the octopus hold. Murphy counters it into Murphy's Law for the pin. And still your Cruiserweight champion, Buddy Murphy. I'll give this match 3 stars. You know, it was good. It did what it had to do. You know, unfortunately, it's pretty much confirmed at this point that the Cruiserweight title is just always going to be on the pre-show. You know, I'd like to see a WrestleMania Cruiserweight match that's not on the pre-show. But starting off the show, we had the first ever women's tag team title match. The Iconics versus the Boss and Hug Connection, which is Bayley and Sasha Banks, versus Nia Jax and Tamina, versus Naomi and Carmella, versus the Riot Squad, versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. So, Rose and Deville started the match off with the Boss and Hug Connection. And, you know, I felt like the first half of this match was really kind of lackluster, but then the second half really picked up. And, you know, we had the Iconics coming in, we had the Riot Squad, yeah, that made sense, the Riot Squad coming in, and then, you know, like I said, I was not a fan of this in the beginning, but it picked up. Carmella and Naomi were actually the first ones eliminated, and so yeah, Naomi took the pin there, so don't know if that has anything to do with the incident with her and her husband, but, you know, we had a good spot with Nia Jax going through the pod, pretty brutal spot, but, you know, we gotta talk about this chamber quick. This chamber, obviously, is the new chamber, and it has padding, it's a lot more gimmicked, it has a light setup. You know, it's hard to watch these matches, you know, growing up with the regular chamber. Every time they'd hit the floor, you'd hear it, you know, you'd hear that steel grate. And, I don't know, it just feels safe now, and it's hard to believe that this is a brutal match. But, you know, we did have a good spot, like I said, from Nia Jax, going through the pod. So the final 2 teams we had in the chamber was Banks and Bayley, and then Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. And then we had, for the finish, Deville hitting Rose with a spear by accident. And then Banks tries to put Deville in the bank statement, and can't use her shoulder, so she uses her leg instead of her arm to lock in the bank statement, and then Deville taps out. So we have your first ever women's tag team title winners. And so yeah, they cut a little promo at the end, just kind of the inspiring promo that we expect. And, you know, it was rumored that WrestleMania will see the Boss and Hug Connection versus Trish Stratus and Lita. That'd be kind of cool. I think, honestly, I think that'd be the most exciting women's tag team title match you could possibly have at WrestleMania. So, this match, like I said, the second half was a lot better than the first. It really kind of picked up the pieces. And I'm going to give this match 3 3/4 out of 5. You know, the second half was very enjoyable. Great in-ring psychology for the finish. And, you know, I was personally rooting for the Iconics. I knew they weren't going to win. But they did look strong until they were double eliminated by Nia Jax and Tamina. But it is what it is. This match ran 33 minutes. So, yeah, pretty decent amount of time. So, next up we had the Usos versus the Miz and Shane McMahon. Kind of strange to have 2 tag team matches in a row. You'd think you want to put a singles match in there somewhere. But this match went 14 minutes and 10 seconds. And this match was actually pretty good. We had the Miz and Maurice coming out beforehand to announce their second baby. And then we had, getting into the match, we had, you know, very fast-paced start. You know, I like the Usos, so you can kind of expect that with them. And we actually had a coast-to-coast to Jimmy Uso from Shane McMahon, and then Shane sets up Jay on the other side. You know, he goes for it, and very nice super kick spot in midair. And then the Miz comes in to break up the pin, and then Miz gets hit with a Samoan drop. And Miz lays out Jay on the announce table desk. Shane goes up for the flying elbow, hits it, and then the Miz tries to skull-crushing finale Jay, but then he reverses it, and we got a roll-up by Jey Uso to pin the Miz. So, was not expecting this until about Fastlane or somewhere around there, but I assume they're gonna go with the breakup sooner than later. So yeah, we have new tag team champions, the Usos. Gave this match 3 1/4. I thought it was really enjoyable, personally. So, you know, it was a good effort from the 4 of them. You know, like I said, great spot with the super kick in midair. Next up, we had the Intercontinental Championship match. Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor, and then Lio Rush was thrown in for a handicap match with the Intercontinental Championship on the line. Not really much to say about this match. This went a total of 9 minutes and 30 seconds. You know, really, this is one of those matches where you're only going to remember the finish. I was actually surprised by the finish, but we have, to start the match out, we have Lashley basically beating Balor down in the corner. And we didn't really see much of Lio Rush in this match. And, you know, Balor escapes, and Lashley, he throws him over the top rope. And, you know, we had a lot of outside action in this match. And then, finally, we have Balor tossing Lashley and Rush out of the ring. And then, Balor sends Rush back into the ring. Shotgun drop kick by Balor. Balor lands the coup de grace on Lio Rush for the win. New Intercontinental Champion. So I was not expecting that. And then after the match, we have Bobby Lashley turning on Lio Rush, laying him out with a spine buster. So very interesting. Not a very memorable match. You know, I'll give this 2.5 out of 5 stars. Your exceedingly average match. Next up, we had an in-ring segment with Charlotte Flair. And Charlie Caruso asks Flair if it's a good idea to have her replace Becky Lynch. And then she basically just, you know, gloats over her attack on Lynch at a house show the previous night. And it's kind of cool that they're integrating the house show, make it a little more important, you know. And then she said when she looks in the mirror, that's all the approval that she needs. So then this kind of segues into Ronda Rousey versus Ruby Riott. Okay, so I'm just going to list everything that happened in the match. Riott takes down Rousey. Rousey judo throws Riott. Riott rolls out of the ring to collect herself. Rousey lands her snapping Samoan drop. Rousey puts Riott in the armbar. Riott taps out immediately. So yeah, this match went 1 minute and 40 seconds. And I can't really rate this match because it wasn't really much of a match. I can't really give a rating for that one, so it's just kind of a dud rating. So this match was basically made to A, make Ronda Rousey look strong, B, promote Mortal Kombat 11 because she came out as Sonya Blade, and C, set up the most likely triple threat match because Becky Lynch came out on crutches and she got in the ring and basically beat the hell out of Charlotte with the crutches and then beat the hell out of Ronda Rousey with the crutches. Here's my issue. If you're suspended, you're basically going to be treated like a fan, right? So why wouldn't security deny you access to the ring? Why would they let you in the building? You know, it's just kind of the logic behind it. I don't know. I think too much about these things. But, yeah, this was a good segment. You know, the match was worthless, but I did like the kind of brawl that we had. Very brutal, which was cool. You know, we had Becky Lynch basically taunting both of them, and she was then escorted out of the arena by security finally. So yeah, bad match, squash match, but great segment for the build-up. You know, it kind of got me a little more into this supposed triple threat match. I'm assuming that's what it's going to be. And then next up we had Baron Corbin versus Braun Strowman, no disqualification match. This went 10 minutes and 50 seconds. Yeah, this one was basically a few minutes of Baron Corbin and Braun Strowman kind of have a normal match. You know, we involved a kendo stick, and then Braun Strowman says he doesn't need this to beat his ass. And we had Strowman bringing a table into the ring. He power slams Corbin through the table. Drew McIntyre's music hits, and he comes out with a chair. And then Lashley appears behind Braun Strowman, and it's basically a beatdown from all three of them. And finally, we had a triple powerbomb on 2 steps into 2 tables. So they stood on the steps and gave him a shield-like triple powerbomb through 2 stacked tables. And, you know, so Drew McIntyre, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, and Baron Corbin stood tall as Braun Strowman was laying in his own waste, basically. You know, Baron Corbin obviously got the pin here. And this match, another one that's hard to rate. Maybe like 1.5 star. You know, this was just, it was cool action at the very end. You know, it's not very often you see a double stack table. So, that was cool. And that segues us into 22 minutes of nothing. Promos for WrestleMania. We have the entrances for the Elimination Chamber match main event. And, you know, Daniel Bryan was giving a nice little promo. And Eric Rowan actually was told to, you know, leave the ring. You know, he wasn't allowed to be at ringside. He had to go in the locker room, which is nice. I was afraid that this match was going to get a screwy finish, and it didn't. So that was awesome. This match was great. This crowd, wow, they were into this. And I was looking forward to this match. And we had Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe starting the match out. We had crazy chops from Samoa Joe onto Bryan, which was great. So the order that everyone came out was Kofi Kingston, AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, and Randy Orton. And Samoa Joe was actually the first man eliminated, which is kind of surprising. I don't know what he did, but that sucks. I was hoping he would have a strong performance in this, but unfortunately not. Next, we had Jeff Hardy getting eliminated by Daniel Bryan, and he actually hit a very cool swanton. He jumped off the pod for a swanton onto AJ Styles' back, and Styles was actually laid out on the top rope, so that was pretty cool. Very unique, I like that. But then he was hit with the knee, only to get eliminated. And then we have AJ Styles getting eliminated by Randy Orton with a beautiful RKO. AJ Styles was going for the phenomenal forearm, gets on the top, Randy catches him, and then hits the RKO. So that was really cool as well. And that's probably going to set up AJ Styles and Randy Orton for WrestleMania. And Randy Orton was eliminated by Kofi Kingston with a Trouble in Paradise for the pin. And then we have Kofi and Bryan as the last two remaining. And holy shit, this was awesome. I was not expecting this match to be this good. The crowd was into it. You know, they were crazy behind Kofi Kingston. To me, this was a lost opportunity. You know, yeah, Daniel Bryan's not going to lose his title before WrestleMania. But I feel like maybe Kofi could have won the title and then lost it at Fastlane, because that would have made this moment so much cooler. This crowd was so into this. And, you know, we just had a crazy back and forth. Like, I'm going to try to list some of the action we had here. We had them trading really fast strikes, and then Kingston yells at Bryan to kick him harder, you know, give the yes kicks. And he ducks the last kick and takes Bryan over with the SOS. Bryan kicks out. And then, you know, constant action. We had Kofi Kingston kicking out of the knee, the running knee, which I honestly wasn't expecting. Daniel Bryan was just stomping on Kingston's face for the pin. Kofi Kingston kicks out again. He catches Bryan with a Trouble in Paradise. Bryan kicks out. So we're having near fall after near fall. And then we have him on top of the pod. And Kofi slams Bryan's head into the plexiglass behind the pod. The bulletproof Lexan glass. And he throws Bryan off the top rope. Kingston misses a splash off the pod. And then Bryan hits a second knee and then gets the pin. And still your WWE Champion, Daniel Bryan. And then after the match, Big E and Xavier Woods actually came out and helped Kofi out of the ring, motivated him a little bit, and they told him to basically take in, you know, the crowd, because they were chanting, you know, thank you, Kofi. And it was a very magical moment there. This match went 36 minutes and 40 seconds. Like I said, you know, Bryan and Kingston, they gave it their all for that final. I don't know how long it was. It had to be more than 10 minutes. But that was great. And this match, kind of hard to come up with a rating. I think I'm going to give it 4.5. You know, this was, and that's mainly for the final leg of the match. But we did have some great spots. We had the great RKO. You know, we had the great Swanton. So there was a lot to love here. And very fast-paced. And, you know, this was great. This was the best Elimination Chamber match in a while. I think it's even better than when Bray Wyatt won in 2016. Or 2017. So yeah, this was great. No screwy finishes, which was great. You know, I thought someone was going to come out. Whether it's one of the Wyatts or someone. But yeah, that was a really good match. So to give the overall pay-per-view a rating, we had a lot of filler, we had a lot of bullshit in between, but I'm going to give this a B-. You know, 2 really good chamber matches, and, you know, Finn Balor winning the Intercontinental Championship, that was kind of surprising. And, you know, overall, I think a lot of great decisions were made. You know, the Usos and Miz and Shane had a good match. So yeah, I thought this whole pay-per-view was gonna be terrible, but it wasn't. So B minus. Let me know what your opinions are down below for sure, and give me your ratings and everything. And for now, this has been the DVD Freak. Peace out.